I've always hated football games, however in the late 80s, this one on the Sega Master System won me right over. Hello and welcome to this retrospective 10-minute tryout of World Soccer, a football game that was released on the Sega Master System back in 1987. As you can see, I don't own a full boxed version of the game, just this loose cartridge and the console to play it on. Have to admit up front though that I've always hated football games and I don't really have any interest in the sport myself. However, back in the 80s when my main console was a Sega Master System, this game won me over with its simple 2-button control method. One for pass and one for shoot towards the goal. And thanks to that simplicity, we have an accessibly playable soccer game without the need for a 100-page textbook to understand what's going on. Now, this being a 10-minute tryout video, I'll be cramming as much of the action as I can into a 10-minute video length. And if this video does well enough, I'll be aiming to fit more content of this type into my regular upload schedule. The game launches with a title screen that makes the best of the Sega Master System's colourful 8-bit graphics and cute sounding built-in sound chip, and that intro music does quite a good job of getting the blood rushing in anticipation as you wait to kick off into your first football match. The press of the start button takes us into this simple menu, providing the option of a 1 or 2 player soccer game or a 1 or 2 player penalty kick contest. The penalty kick game is something that's triggered at the end of a soccer game to decide the winner in the event of a draw, but you can select to play it here for practice as a standalone game. I'll be launching into a 1-player soccer game here to start with, and it goes without saying that the 2-player option is an absolute blast with a second controller and a friend to play against. Before kicking off, of course, we have to select a country to play as, and I'm going for GBR, Great Britain, as I'm a Brit myself, and whichever country you do choose to play as is represented by that sound chip again with a rendition of the national anthem for whichever country you've picked. After choosing the opposing team, you get to hear their national anthem too, and I've gone for England's historically classic opponents, the Germans, FDR, Federal Republic of Germany. Another press of the start button and we're into the game as the players parade onto the pitch, viewed from above, with our team on the left side and the opponent's team on the right. There's a brief 4-second wait before the ball is passed to the first player under your control, and at this point I should explain exactly how the game is played. The player you'll be passing to is indicated by a plain red arrow, so a press of button 2 triggers an overhead kick towards that player. You don't have any control over which player has that plain red arrow, but the computer does a fairly good job of predicting which teammate is currently the most advantageous to pass to. Tackling is a random affair and involves moving into the path of the ball while your opponent has possession. This triggers a slide tackle animation, and if you're lucky, you'll take possession of the ball. When you're shooting towards the opponent's goal, you'll see a small white arrow in the goal mouth which moves up and down as you move your player up and down. This gives you a modicum of control over where the ball will go when you kick it towards the goal. When you're defending your own goal, your goalie will move around the goal area as you move your main player, so if the opposing team tries to score, you can move the goalie around and try to save the ball. Other events within a match like corner kicks, goal kicks and throw-ins where you serve the ball onto the field give you control over which player to kick or throw the ball to by placing a red arrow above their head, and you can choose a different player by moving the direction pad on the controller. Each game is split into 2 halves, 4 minutes per half, and the teams are swapped around to the opposite sides of the pitch at half time, so you'll need to remember which goal you're aiming for in the second half, and I've been caught out by that quite a few times. At the end of the match, after 8 minutes, the team with the highest number of goals is declared the winner in a very satisfying victory animation sequence, which includes a very sportsmanly handshake with a member of the opposing team. Of course, if there's a draw, it goes to penalties, where each team takes it in turn to either shoot towards the goal or move their goalie to save the ball. If you're shooting, you'll need to press a direction on the control pad to kick the ball towards your chosen area of the goal, and if you hold a fire button down while doing this, you'll apply a little more power to the kick, sending the ball further out closer to the edges of the goal area. If you're defending the goal as the goalie, you need to watch out for the opponent's kick and work out as quickly as possible where the ball is headed, then use the same control method to choose an area of the goal to defend. Your goalie's animation will reflect your choice and either save the ball or miss it and let it slip by. Saving the ball here requires a lot of skill and really good reflexes. Sadly, even as a youngster I was a bit rubbish at this, and I'm still no better now to be honest, which is probably a lesson in how important it is to practice, which I guess is why they made the penalty kick contest a practice option from the main menu. That is literally the entire game, and although on the surface there doesn't seem to be much to it, playing a match against the computer-controlled opponent is a pleasantly fun and exciting experience, which is even better when played socially against another person in two-player mode. My only two frustrations are with the random tackling, which can feel a bit unfair when multiple attempts to tackle the ball fail, and the penalties, which feels overly difficult, but again, that can probably be improved if you can be bothered to practice. Overall, World Soccer on the Sega Master System is a fantastic, uncomplicated football game, which even in this age of hyper-realistic sports simulations can be a source of immense fun and excitement, whether you have friends to play it with or not. And my advice to you is ditch buying the latest version of FIFA and go get yourself a copy of this, either with a console to play it on or in emulation. So that's a wrap on this 10-minute tryout, and if you have any thoughts or memories to share about World Soccer on the Sega Master System, post them in the comments and I'll be happy to have a chat with you there. So that just leaves me to finish off now by thanking you for commenting, thank you for liking and subscribing, and of course to thank you all for watching Retrospectives.